Hello, I'm Jason and I'm here in Fishing North Atlantic because I want to talk very briefly about Ships at Sea, the new upcoming game from the same developer that's due out in less than a month now on May the 9th. So I thought the best way I could talk about it is to just jump into Fishing North Atlantic here and just really go over some of the things that I hope Ships at Sea does a bit better. Because as much as I have been enjoying Fishing North Atlantic, there are a few little gripes. First things first, it's the mooring. I'm sort of a little bit disappointed that this game didn't have proper sort of mooring physics in it. In Virtual Sailor, I kind of like starting every voyage with my ship moored up, and then it gives me a chance to sit there and get the engine started, get all my chart plotter set up, get the radar set up and everything before I leave. So I'm sort of disappointed that Fishing North Atlantic just had this flashing blue box that you start in, and it's the same when you come back from a voyage and you want to moor. It's, you know, driving into this blue box and just hitting the E key to go ashore without any proper mooring sort of physics to it. And it also means that anytime you're in your boat here in bad weather, you run the risk of getting smashed against the quayside and damaging your boat. So pretty much as soon as you come out of the dock area and go to your boat, you have to set sail straight away. There's no ability to just sit here and have a little wander around your boat, because what's going to happen is you're just smashing against the quay wall all the time. So I do find that a little bit frustrating. Well, it's not doing it at the moment much because there's no wind, but I do wish that we had the option to properly moor. And from what I've seen of the trailers of Ships at Sea, it looks like that's something that they have added. There does seem to be a proper ability for your vessel to be tied up alongside. Now, I don't know whether you do actually get to throw the lines yourself or whether you just hit a key and it magically moors up. I don't know, but as long as it is actually secured in some way, so you're not just bobbing around and smashing against the side here, I'm going to be happy with that. Now, one of the other things I'd like to see in Ships at Sea, which I think they are bringing in, is actually proper buoyancy physics. I believe that in Fishing North Atlantic here, everything's a little bit scripted. So for instance, as soon as I hit the key to turn, the vessel just leans to one side or t'other as I turn. It just seems to be like a scripted movement rather than actually having any real physics simulation. So the whole thing just seems a bit twitchy. The vessel just kind of randomly swings about like it's some sort of jet ski or something. Basically that sway from side to side is tied into the key presses rather than what the vessel's doing. So I'd like to see that changed, and like I say, from what I've seen in the trailers, they are changing that. The next thing I'd like to see in Ships at Sea, which again I believe they are doing, is a proper weather simulation. And what I mean by that is weather simulation where the water will accurately react to the wind, and then your vessel will actually pitch and roll depending on the wave physics. Because again, I think this kind of bobbing around here is more like a scripted behaviour, and as anyone who's played Fishing North Atlantic recently will tell you, there is no such thing as rough weather really. At the moment, according to the wind here, this is supposed to be an 11 knot wind, but basically the sea's like a mill pond here at the moment really. It's barely a ripple, and that's probably one of my biggest disappointments with Fishing North Atlantic. I was looking forward to some sort of like epic voyages, braving through the elements to get out to the fishing grounds. When you've ever watched The Deadliest Catch or any of these things, when they're crashing through the waves to make it out there, and you've sort of got that risk-reward ratio that you're having to weigh up to decide whether it's worth going out in bad weather. Whereas with Fishing North Atlantic here, I found that you really didn't even have to pay attention to the weather. It really didn't matter whether it was a flat, calm day or whether it was blowing a gale out there. You could still just quite happily go out and fish with no consequences. So it really didn't feel like much of a challenge. I mean, if you think about any of these things like Deadliest Catch, the danger is the thrill really. That's why they get paid the money they do for these things, because of the risk involved in it. So if every fishing day is just a flat, calm day like this, then the excitement's not there. I do say that in Fishing North Atlantic, I do like the interiors. I do like the fact you can get out and walk around in first person, which is something you could never do in, like Virtual Sailor. You can sort of use a drone cam, but you can't really, properly get up and walk around and interact in a proper fashion. So I like this aspect of it, and I think from what I've seen of ships at sea, they've made it look even better. From the screenshots, at least, the interiors look more realistic. These graphics here do still have a slight cartoony edge to them. I don't quite know what it is about them, but there's kind of a little they're kind of like a little bit too crisp and little bit too well defined. Whereas again, from what I've seen of ships at sea, they look a lot more realistic. So as we get underway here in our stumpy little boat, the next thing I'd like to see in ships at sea is the ability to turn off time compression when you're just travelling on your happy voyage like this. No, I don't mean time compression in like the fast travel. I just mean like in a normal journey like this, I'd like it to be real time, because even though my vessel's only doing about 10 knots here, it does tend to be going along like a bit of a speedboat, which I'm assuming is because they've compressed distances, speeds, times and everything. So in order to make everything sort of align properly, this vessel's actually theoretically travelling faster than 10 knots. The downside of this time compression means that, well, there's twofold really. First of all, voyages never take that long. Even if you're going out to distant fishing grounds, you still get there fairly quickly with regards to real world time. And also, it means that the actual days in the game just go too quick. I don't know where I'm just unlucky, but I find that I'm always in night time in the game most of the time. I'd like it where, if I got up on a Saturday morning and decided I wanted to play ships at sea, I could set my clock to dawn, I could head out of port at dawn, and it would actually be real time, and I'd know that I'd have several hours of daylight in the game that I could play, rather than just after 30 minutes or so in the game I'm plunged into darkness again. I just like it if I could enjoy, like in Virtual Sailor, where you can just enjoy everything in real time. If you want to go on a 4-hour voyage at dawn and watch the sunrise, you can do that. Like I say, I started this video at about 1 PM in game time, and it's already nearly 4 PM now in the game, and I've only been playing it for about 20 minutes. So you just find like after 30 minutes or so, you've actually just gone through a whole day, and you've missed the sunrise, you've missed the sunset, and you're sort of plunged into night time again before you even get a chance to enjoy the scenery. So what else would I like from ships at sea? I'd like proper radar, which I believe is coming. I have seen that in the trailers, that there are proper radars coming. I'd like proper AI vessels, unlike these things here which just seem scripted. They just always seem to head straight towards you for some reason. They don't really seem to have any intelligence. They just seem to randomly spawn at different points and kind of cut towards you, suddenly stop. If I stop, then they suddenly stop. Just all sort of weird behaviour. You never really get the feeling that they're going about their own business. It's just like they're sort of pre-programmed to spawn around you at different times and sort of follow you. So I'd like it if there was proper AI. I mean, this ability to move around the vessels I like. I'm looking forward to seeing that in ships at sea. Especially on this particular vessel here that I've got in fishing North Atlantic. I like the ability to go down, even though there's nothing to do in these places. I like the fact that you can get down in there. It's nice to be able to explore. I mean, to be fair, this is the only vessel in fishing North Atlantic where you've got all these interiors in this much detail, but still, it's nice. I'm hoping ships at sea allows us to do this on some of the bigger vessels. And talking of bigger vessels, that's another one of my slight frustrations with fishing North Atlantic. It's the fact that there doesn't seem to be any big AI vessels about. It always seems to be the same sort of 2 or 3 AI vessels that you come across that are just small. So I'd like to see a sort of a bigger range of vessels to make it feel like it is an active bit of sea, because it's just always that little orange harpoon boat that seems to appear, and a few others. Because to be honest, if I've got the ability to buy all these bigger trawlers, I'd also like to see some of them out and about as well. But anyway, that's just my brief thoughts on ships at sea and what I hope it will bring. I'm really looking forward to giving it a go, seeing what it offers. So what do you want to see from it? Let me know in the comments what you hope ships at sea will bring. Did you enjoy fishing North Atlantic? Do you want to see more of the same, or do you want something different? My personal opinion is that with fishing North Atlantic, they tried to be a little bit too arcadey with it and got away from the the true simulation side, and so I'm hoping that with ships at sea they've addressed that. So yeah, let me know what you think. Leave your comments, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.